Standing Mindful Yoga Series. As you approach this practice, it is very important that you are gentle with your body, that you listen to your body, and that you respect your body by only doing the postures that feel appropriate. If you are uncertain that the posture is appropriate given your physical condition, please speak to your teacher or health care provider. Finally, it is very important that you practice non-striving by never pushing past your limit into pain. You will notice that there may be brief pauses between instructions to allow you to draw a little deeper into your experience. At times you may find the sequence feels too slow. If so, remind yourself that this is more a yoga of being rather than a yoga of doing, and allow yourself to simply slow down and be in your body. So to prepare for our standing sequence, you want to have a mat or a towel that you will be able to rest on the floor with, and you may want to have an extra blanket or pillow. We will begin in a simple standing posture, the mountain pose. Bringing your awareness into the soles of your feet and looking down to make sure that your toes are directly in front of your heels and that your legs are hip distance apart. Bend your knees for just a moment and see if you can tell what happens in the body as you bend the knees just a little bit. Allowing the weight of the body to stay heavy and grounded through your feet, begin to straighten the knees and tuck the tailbone just a little. Lifting the sternum once again, slightly, and allow the shoulders to begin to soften away from your ears, inviting the back of the neck to lengthen so that the crown of the head is really opening toward the ceiling. And just begin to bring your awareness into your breath, noticing the rise and the fall of the breath. Notice if the breath is deep or shallow. And again, bringing your awareness now into the soles of your feet, and also, if you can, into the palms of your hands. And slowly turn the palms forward so that your pinkies are headed toward your hips. And then with an inhalation, we are going to extend the arms out to the side and up over the head. And then with an exhalation, we are going to allow the arms to just float right back down to your hips. Breathing in, extending the arms out and up over your head. Breathing out, allowing the arms to float back down by your hips. As you continue to breathe in and float the arms up, and breathe out and float the arms down, see what it's like to begin to match the breath with the length of the movement, so that when you're at the top of the breath, you're at the top of the movement. And when you're at the bottom of the breath, you're at the bottom of the movement. And the next time that you exhale, allow the arms just to rest by your hips. Begin to notice sensations in your shoulders and down your arms. Notice if there's a difference in your breath. And notice if you feel any different overall. So now we'll begin some shoulder shrugs. Very gently begin to lift the shoulders up by the ears. And again, not pushing the shoulders up, but just lifting them into a comfortable edge. And then slide the shoulders back so that it's as if the shoulder blades could touch each other behind the back. And if you puff the chest out just a little bit, and then allow the shoulders to drop down away from the ears, and then bring them forward so that the back begins to spread, and it's as if the shoulders could touch right in front of the heart. We will do that circle again. Lifting the shoulders up by the ears, lengthen them back behind the body so the chest comes forward just a touch. Allow the shoulders to drop down away from the ears and then bring the shoulders forward. Take just a moment now and move with this circle of shoulders, not going too deep, but just watch what it's like to your body. What are the sensations? Are there certain areas that feel more or less open? More or less constricted? Let your breath be easy as you're moving the shoulders. And now allow the shoulders just to come back into stillness. And let's do that in the other direction. Lifting the shoulders up toward the ears. Bring your shoulders forward so that it's as if they could meet in front of the heart. Allow the shoulders to drop heavily down away from the ears and then bring them back so that you lift the chest forward just a little bit. And then lift the shoulders back up to the ears. Continue in this direction, making that nice full circle with the shoulders, and remembering that movement does not have to be huge. It has to be such that we can feel what's happening in the body and in the breath. And then just let your shoulders drop down away from your ears, feeling your breath again, noticing what is the experience in the shoulders. Now let's take just a few moments with some neck rolls. So we'll begin with an inhalation, lengthening the spine up so that the crown of the head extends toward the ceiling and the neck is long. And then on an exhalation, allow your right ear to begin to drop down toward your right shoulder. And as that ear drifts down toward the shoulder, can you allow both shoulders to be soft? Not holding any unnecessary tension. Let your awareness rest in the sensation that's unfolding down the left side of your neck, across the top of your shoulder, and feel your breath moving. And then with an inhalation, lengthen the head back up into the center, exhaling, and take a moment here and see if you can feel a difference in the left and the right side of your neck and the left and right side of your shoulder. Maybe so, maybe not, but just noticing. And again, we'll inhale and lengthen the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And on an exhalation this time, we'll let the left ear drift down by the left shoulder, allowing both shoulders to be heavy and soft. So if you notice that you're holding or resisting, maybe you can let go a little bit in the upper body and just notice that sensation as it unfolds down through the right side of your neck. Notice if the sensation changes in any way, or if it stays exactly the same from moment to moment. And then with an inhalation, extend the head back up into the center. And with an exhalation, just rest for a moment, noticing the left and the right side of the neck, the left and the right shoulder, and allow your breath to move in and out with ease. And now place both hands on your hips. We'll take a gentle spinal twist. Anyone that may be working with any disc problems, you'll want to take this twist only about 15 or 20% of what you think you might be able to do, so that we are erring on the side of caution. With the hands resting on the hips, with an inhalation, we'll lengthen the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And with an exhalation, gently begin to rotate the torso so that you're looking out over your right shoulder. Continue to breathe with ease. Take a moment to just scan the spine all the way from the tailbone up the lower back, the mid-back, all the way into the neck. And if there's any portion of the spine that feels like either it's working too hard or maybe it's not, doesn't feel quite alive or vital, see if you can smooth that out so you'll feel nice and balanced in your rotation. See what happens if you step a little more heavy into your left foot. Does that change the experience in any way? And then we'll inhale here, and on an exhalation, slowly let yourself come back into the center, softening out the twist, taking just a moment to notice in your body how you feel the effects of the twist. Now we'll do the other side. So inhale, lengthening up to the crown of the head, and on an exhalation this time, we'll turn the torso so that we are looking out over the left shoulder. And again, best you can, see if you can even out the experience in your spine, exploring what it may be like to step a little heavier into your right foot as you twist towards the left. And then inhale, and on the exhalation, slowly uncurl the spine, coming back into the center. Release the hands down by your hips and take a nice breath here, and just notice how you feel. Now we're going to inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling, and just exhale and reach through the right fingertips to begin to open and lengthen the right side of the body. And you can explore stretching a good deal or stretching just a little, but really begin to explore what it is like to open the area around the right ribs, the right waist. You may want to explore what it's like to step up onto the left toes. How does that affect the experience? And then you can bring the left heel back down and step up onto the right toes, continuing to breathe. And then let the right heel come back down to the floor. Take a full breath in, And during the exhalation, let that right arm come back down by your hip. And now with an inhalation, we'll float the left arm up toward the ceiling. When you exhale, just lengthen through those left fingertips, letting your awareness scan down through the left side of your body, the underarm, the waist, ribs, and the hip. And just notice, how does this feel in your body? Notice areas that are tight, that are open and free. What is the experience of this moment? And again, you may want to explore lifting up onto the right toes and let the right heel come down. And then the left toes, and let the left heel come down. Taking a full breath in, and on the exhalation, allow the left arm to drift back down by your side. And just take a moment here and notice how you feel. Now for our next posture, which is the half moon posture. If you have high blood pressure, especially if your blood pressure is unmedicated, I'd like you to keep your hands on your hips. If you don't have high blood pressure and it feels comfortable for you, then inhaling the arms up over the head so that the palms are facing each other and they're parallel. Now giving the belly a gentle hug in towards the spine so you're supported in your center. We'll inhale, and on the exhalation, allow the right hip to move out to the right and the arms to move toward the left, remembering that we only come to the area of sensation that is manageable. So don't go to a place that is painful or uncomfortable. And then we'll inhale, lengthen back up then to the center, and exhale, floating the arms back down. Give yourself a moment to rest, to notice the sensation. And again, if you're not working with a special condition, keeping your hands on your hips, we'll inhale the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale, soften the shoulders down just a little bit. Give the belly a gentle hug into your center. We'll inhale here, and on the exhalation, we let the left hip move to the left, and the arms begin to arc to the right, coming only to a place that is manageable. Sometimes we can see in the jaw extra tension, which may signify we have gone a little too deep. And then let's inhale, bringing the arms back up into the center, and on the exhalation, place the arms back down by your hips and a nice full releasing breath. Now this time we will inhale the arms forward so that they are parallel with the floor, palms facing down. And on the exhalation, just slide your shoulders back just a little bit so that it's like the shoulder blades are coming together behind the back, like we did earlier in the sequence. Inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to begin to sit back into the buttocks by bending the knees. It's almost as if you're reaching into a chair that was just behind you, but you don't have to go very deep. And as you look down over your knees, make sure you can see your toes. If you can't see your toes, then just scoot the buttocks back a little bit further away from your knees. And take just a moment here to breathe nice and full breaths into the belly, noticing the sensation build, heat beginning to increase, and then standing with awareness into your feet. With an inhalation, stand up out of the posture, and with an exhalation, release your hands back down by your hips. Take just a moment to notice the effects on the breath. Maybe you can even feel your heart beat. Now, let's inhale the arms out to the side so that they're parallel with the floor. And with the exhalation, lift the fingertips toward the ceiling. So the right palm is facing the right wall, left palm is facing the left wall, and begin to extend very gently through the heels of your hands. As you do so, notice what happens in the shoulders. Best you can, allow the shoulders to be soft as you really spread the front body and spread the back body. Nice, easy breaths, watching the sensation. Notice when it's pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And then inhale, and on the exhalation, just let those arms float back down by your hips. Take just a moment to really let go and notice how you feel. Now we'll begin to explore a couple of standing balance poses. So bring your awareness into your feet, feeling the feet standing on the floor, and then begin to allow the weight of the body to drop down into the sole of the right foot. The right leg becomes very strong. It's almost like you are dropping roots down into the sole of the right foot, so that the trunk of your right leg becomes nice and solid like a tree. Inhale, extending arms out to the side, parallel to the floor with the palms facing down. And with an exhalation, really extend through your fingertips so you're nice and wide once again in the front body and the back body. And when you're ready, slowly begin to lift the left foot off the floor and extend it directly to the left, remembering that you don't have to come very high. There's nothing to achieve here. We're just exploring what it's like to stand on one foot in this variation of the warrior pose. You may want to explore what it's like to focus your eyes. See if that has an impact on your balance. Notice if your right foot is really steady or if there is a little bit of a wobble in that foot. So again, just noticing without judgment, what is the experience in this standing balance pose? And then inhaling, and on the exhalation, release your left leg back down. Release your arms back by your hips. Take a nice full breath and roll around your right ankle for just a moment to release the responsibility from your right leg. Now we'll do the other side. So bring your awareness first into both feet and then slide your attention over into the sole of your left foot. And let your left foot become planted. You might want to use the image of dropping roots down through your left foot so your left leg becomes really strong. And inhale. Extend the arms out to the side, parallel to the floor, palms facing down. And with an exhalation, just lengthen through those arms, fingertips growing away from each other. And then when you're ready, slowly begin to extend the right leg out to the right, not needing to lift it very high, but just coming to where the balance may be apparent for a moment or so. Notice if there is shifting where the balance may be pleasant, and then it's not. And then inhale, and with an exhalation, slowly release the leg back down to the floor. Release the arms. Take a nice full breath and roll around that left ankle so that once again we release the responsibility from holding the body on that one ankle. Now let's try a posture called the tree posture. It's a standing balance posture. And in the standing balance postures, it's pretty easy sometimes to get quite frustrated. So if you begin to notice that, just breathe into it. Letting yourself feel both feet standing on the floor. Again, drop the weight down to the sole of your right foot. The right leg becomes nice and solid. And bring the hands in front of the chest in prayer position. As you allow the weight of the body to be really anchored in the right leg, slowly pick the left leg up, and you can do a couple of things. You can begin by placing the left heel on top of the right foot. And if the balance feels quite apparent to you in this variation, then you might want to explore taking the sole of the left foot and put it on the right calf, the inside of the right calf. Just be careful that you're not placing it directly on the knee joint. Again, exploring what happens when you stabilize your focus, picking one spot to rest your gaze. And if the balance becomes very apparent to you and you feel very still and steady in the pose, then you might want to explore extending the arms up, growing the limbs of the tree. And then releasing the arms down and stepping back onto 2 feet. Take a nice full breath and roll around that right ankle, once again to release the responsibility from that joint. And let's do the other side. So first of all, feeling both feet standing nice and firm, and then begin to shift your awareness and shift the body weight to the left leg, into the left foot, dropping those roots down into the earth. The leg becomes nice and strong. The arms are folded in front of the body, palms together in a prayer position. And when you're ready, begin to lift the right foot off the floor, and you can begin by placing the right heel on top of the left foot. Find balance here first. If the balance in this moment is quite apparent and feels easy for you, then you can explore taking the right foot into the inner left calf. Then again, just remember to stay off of that knee joint. Feeling the breath, notice if the breath changes. Are you more or less wobbly? And if you'd like, you can extend your arms up toward the ceiling and then release them down by your hips, standing back onto 2 feet, rolling around the left ankle, softening that leg with a nice full breath. Notice how you feel now. And now we'll come down to the floor for the last few postures in this sequence. So as we come into a couple of sitting postures, you may want to have that extra blanket or pillow. We use the extra blanket folded up or the pillow folded so that we can put it underneath the buttocks and lift the hips off the floor about 2 inches or so. This is especially important if you have really tight hamstrings, which are the muscles in the upper part of the back thigh, or if you have a tight lower back, which many of us do. So propping yourself up, if it's appropriate, and bringing the soles of the feet together in front of the pelvis, so that the knees are opening out to the side like butterflies. And taking the hands and holding on either to the ankles, or if you can interlace your fingers around the tops of your toes, that's fine too. And then with an inhalation, lengthen the spine up so the crown of the head extends away from the tailbone. And then on the exhalation, begin to hinge forward. So we're not going to go very far, just a couple of degrees. And I'd like for you to use the image of the belly moving towards the earth rather than the head coming toward the feet. Keep the spine nice and long. Continuing to breathe, and just notice, where does this posture feel alive for you? Where are the sensations? What are they like? Are they pleasant or unpleasant? And remembering, if you ever find yourself in a place that feels unmanageable, then just back off a little bit. Don't go quite so deep. And then with an inhalation, let's lengthen back up into the center and exhale. And keeping the right knee bent out to the side, let's extend the left leg long in front of us. And bringing the hands to either side of that left knee, extend through the heel of the left foot. And then again, with an inhalation, lengthen the crown of the head up. With an exhalation, begin to pivot in the hips and fold forward very gently toward the thigh, not needing to go too deep. So the sole of the right foot is resting on the inside of the left thigh or the inside of the left knee, and we're simply hinging the hips forward. Notice again, where does this posture feel alive for you? Where's the sensation? And then with an inhalation, we'll lengthen back up into the center and exhale in place. Take just a moment to notice how you feel the effects of the posture on the right and the left hip. And then let's exchange legs and do the other side. So now extending the right leg long, bending the left knee out to the left, so that the sole of the left foot is resting on the floor just inside the right thigh, or the inside of the right knee, whatever is comfortable for your body. Taking the hands on either side of the right knee and gently extend through the heel of the right foot, so the toes begin to move back toward your knee. With an inhalation, slowly extend the spine long through the crown of the head, and with an exhalation, begin to fold forward. Again, not needing to go too deep. Just come to your edge, the place where there's plenty of sensation, but that it's manageable. And breathe. Inhale and slowly lengthen back up into the center. Exhaling in place, pausing for a moment just to notice what's happening in the body-mind. And then taking the blanket out from underneath your buttocks if you were using one, and slowly lengthen back onto the floor so that you're resting on your spine with the knees bent and the soles of the feet resting on the floor. The feet will be underneath the knees and will be about hip distance apart. And then bringing the hands up behind the head so that the elbows are pointing out in either direction, kind of like butterflies. Then we're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to slowly begin to let the knees drop over to the right. Now, if you're working with any kind of disc problems, again, I'd like for you to not come very far in this twist, always erring on the side of caution. When you find your edge and when the twist feels like it's just enough, then turn to look over your left elbow. And taking a brief scan through the body to see if there's anywhere you may be able to let go. Is there any extra tension I might be able to soften here? And then just breathe easy, feeling the effects of the twist. As you inhale, bring the knees back into the center, and exhaling in place, bringing the head back as well. And now we'll do the other side. So taking a full breath in, and on the exhalation, let the knees gently drop down to the left this time. Again, being very respectful when working with any specific injuries or disabilities in your back. And slowly let your head turn to look out over your right elbow. Letting go as best you can, breathing easy, and then inhaling, bring the knees back up into the center and exhale in place, taking just a moment to notice the effects of the twist. Notice how you feel. Watch the spine slowly release into the floor as you bring your hands down by your hips. And now we'll prepare for our final relaxation posture. Lying down on the floor with your legs straight may put a strain in your lower back. Take extra care by folding a blanket or a pillow and put it under your knees so that your knees stay slightly bent. This often will take the extra pressure out of the lower back. Otherwise, extend the legs long onto the floor. Turn the palms up toward the ceiling and then slide your hands away from your hips about a foot so that you feel space underneath your arms. And if you like, take a deep breath in and letting it go with a sigh, so that you can really begin to just sink into the floor. Feel free, if you have the time, to stay here for a few minutes. When this period is over, I will ring the bell, and then there'll be a very gentle transition back into sitting. So allowing the breath to deepen, wiggling back into your fingers and toes, stretching the arms overhead, really waking up the body. Bending the knees so that the feet are again resting on the earth. And if it's appropriate for your body, roll over to one side, sort of like a fetal position. You're not in a hurry. Really respecting the space you've created for your body, and then using your hands to assist you, gently lift the body back to sitting. This completes the standing sequence of mindful yoga.